Good morning. How are you? This is my first Facebook Live since I got back from vacation. I was away for a couple of weeks, and I realized that I missed doing these Facebook Lives. I miss talking to you guys. I miss interacting with you and seeing what's going on in your life. So I am glad to be back. I had a wonderful vacation. We had a great time. Lots of warm weather, lots of relaxation, lots of reading, and I am also back, and I'm happy to be back with you. So today, if you see the topic here, the question is your inner toddler running your life? And is it running your business? Is it running your coaching practice? And I'm going to talk a little bit about that and share some tips that you can use to recognize when this is happening, and most importantly, what to do. How to get back in control, how to be the adult in your business and in your life so you can make progress. If you don't know me already, my name's Candy. I coach coaches, I teach them, I coach them, I mentor them, and I guide them to build the businesses that they absolutely love. Building a business that's sustainable and allows them to do what they love to do, which is coaching in a way that's easy. If you haven't already, you can see over down in the link, you can download my free guide to the ultimate guide to becoming a life coach. In there, I've got all kinds of strategies, all kinds of tips and interesting things for you. If you already are a life coach and you want to learn more about how to grow a business, and also for those of you who have always wanted to be a life coach or you're considering it, it gives you some great information as well. So grab that free guide if you haven't already. So let's dive into the topic today. The first thing that I wanted to tell you is that I can share all the strategies in the world. I can teach you everything that you need to have the business that you love, to be successful, to have freedom, and all of those strategies really don't mean much if you don't deal with your mindset stuff. I know it's a little controversial to say it, but without your mindset in the right spot, nothing makes a difference. And so just putting it out there. If you find that you're one of those people who is always looking for the step-by-step, always looking for the right strategy to follow, yes, those are important, but don't forget how you feel, how you think affects the actions that you take, or the inaction, the procrastination, and all of that is going to affect your success. So you can know everything you need to do. And if your mindset's screwed up, it's not going to do you any good. So let's talk about, is your inner toddler running your life? So when you think about the biology of your brain, very simplified, I'm going to talk about the two separate parts. The first is the primal brain. That is the brain that keeps you safe, it keeps you secure, that recognizes danger. It's the part of your brain that dominates the flight, fight, or freeze response. And we've all experienced that. And even if you don't remember right now, you can think about the dreams that you might have had where you're wishing you could run away, you're being attacked, and you wish you could run away, and you're stuck in space. You're stuck in that one spot, you're frozen, you just can't run. It's also the flight, the I've got to get out of here, that quick response to just run away as fast as you can. Or some of us are more dominant in the fight. Instead of running or freezing, you might stand your ground and put up your fists and get ready to fight. So the primal brain dominates that part of your life. And it's part of our evolution. It's part of our physiology. So it's always going to be there. That primal brain is also the place for your inner toddler, your inner 2-year-old. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. The other part that I want to talk about, and yes, I know, so simplified, but is the prefrontal cortex. That is the thinking part of your brain. It's the place where you do your executive reasoning, your logic, your decision making, where you decide on the right thing to do. So, is the inner toddler, the primal brain, running your life? Or are you using your prefrontal cortex? Are you using the thinking part of your brain to run your life? That's the discussion we're having today. So, like I said, everybody has these parts of the brain. So which part's active right now? Well, you're going to know if your inner 2-year-old is running your life by knowing whether you're doing things like procrastinating all the time. Are you second guessing those things that you need to do? Have you taken a whole bunch of action and you're doing great work and all of a sudden you're second guessing? Are you getting busy? Are you doing all kinds of things? But none of those things that you're doing are actually the most important thing that's going to help you move forward. Are you doing all the busy work instead of the important work? Are you justifying why it's not going to work? Well, I know that it might work for some people, but for me, with what I've got going on in my life, in that justifying place, that may be your inner 2-year-old as well. Are you resistant? You just can't make me do it. Where you're digging in your heels, and even though you know that right thing to do, you're just resistant. I don't want to. I don't want to. So some of those things are your indication that your inner 2-year-old is in charge. And you can flip this in a second. In just a second, you can make that change from your inner 2-year-old to that prefrontal cortex, the thinking part of your brain, the one that's going to allow you to take the important actions, use the strategies that you know, and get moving. So because you've got some ideas now about how that inner 2-year-old shows up, I want to just talk a little bit about, for those of you that are parents, and if you're not, I'm sure you've got nieces and nephews or young people in your life, and you probably have seen this. You've probably seen the grocery store where, and listen, I did this when my kids were little all these years ago. One of them would want that candy bar that is at the cash register. I want that candy bar. I really want it, Mom. That whining little voice that just won't give up. Now, that's fine that they want it, but it doesn't mean they get to have it. And you, as the parent in that situation, you get to help them. You get to say, not today. We're not doing candy bars today. Remember, you've chosen your treats for this week. They're in the basket. We're going to be buying them, and you're going to get your treats when we get home. You, as the parent, get to parent that inner 2-year-old. The inner 2-year-old doesn't run the family. The inner 2-year-old is the child, and the parent guides the child so they know how to better take care of them. So how can you use this metaphor in your life? How can you be the parent to your own inner 2-year-old? Curious what you think. I know a couple of you have popped on and a couple of you have popped off. And if you're watching this live, great. And if not, if you're watching a replay, feel free to pop a comment in the comment box below. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear if this metaphor helps you as well. Okay, so think about this. You know what it's like, that metaphor, and if you don't have your own kids, you've seen it happen in the grocery store where that inner 2-year-old right after that chocolate bar, and if they hear no, they may lay down on the floor and scream and yell, oh no, I want it, and throw a temper tantrum, right? You've seen that. And the parent can choose how to react. The parent can pick the child up, dust them off, give them a hug so that they know that they're safe and they're loved, and that the parent will take care of them. So you can pick up your own inner 2-year-old, comfort your own inner 2-year-old and say, it's okay. I know that this is difficult, but I've got you. So that's one of the easiest ways, the fastest way. Once you've recognized that your inner toddler is running your life, be your own parent. Pick up that inner 2-year-old metaphorically. Comfort yourself. Take good care of yourself. Self-care is so important every time you're stretching and growing in your life. Wrap your arms around yourself and say, don't worry, I got you. I know you're scared. I know you're angry. I know you're feeling resistant, but I've got you. And then let the parent guide the way. So that's one way to switch from that primal brain, the inner toddler, to the thinking brain, comforting them, acknowledging them, giving them a hug, even if it's a metaphorical hug, and helping them to know that there's going to be another way and that you care for them and that you're going to take care of them. So that's the first. The second, this is something that I do all the time. I'll tell you guys, it is one of the things that is the most powerful, and it's the thing that I resist the most. Even though I know how much it works, I still resist it. Hear that? My inner 2-year-old is resisting doing the thing that my inner parent knows is the right thing. So when I'm thinking, oh, I don't want to do this, I don't know what to do, maybe I'm not doing the right way, maybe everybody else has done what I've done, maybe I'm not, all that inner chatter, that inner voice of self-doubt. I am just like you guys. I have that inner voice of self-doubt just like you do. And here's what I do. I pick up my pen and I pick up a pad of paper and I write. I just journal. I say, here's what's on my mind. I might write that at the top of the page. I might say, here's what's on my mind. And then I give myself 5 minutes to write all the things that are on my mind. Getting that thought out of my mind and onto paper is one of the most powerful ways of getting back in control so that you can take inspired action and reach your dreams. So I might say, here's what's on my mind, and I might write that. I might say, I'm worried that, and then I answer my own question. I'm worried that. Who knows? Who knows what I'm worried about? Give yourself 2 to 5 minutes to just free write. Now, some of you guys like to do this on your phone. I know that. Some of you like to do it on your computer. My personal choice is pen and paper. For me, it connects better in my brain. It gets me closer to what's really going on, to have that actual action of handwriting. And if you caught a glimpse of my paper, you know my writing is terrible. But that's not what's important. What's important is getting it out of here and onto the paper so that I can see it, so that I can acknowledge what I'm thinking, what I'm nervous about, what I'm scared about. Why am I procrastinating? What is really going on? What am I really scared is going to happen? Am I scared that I'm not going to have the impact that I want to have? Am I scared that I'm not going to be able to help as many clients as I want to help? What am I scared about? Am I scared about looking silly? Who knows, right? Who knows what I'm scared about? When I'm scared and I'm allowing my inner toddler, my inner 2-year-old to run my world, I cannot do the work that I'm meant to do in this world. And my guess is you're the same way. If you're watching this, you've got important work to do in this world. I believe in you. I know that what you've got to say, who you've got to talk to, the impact that you have is really, really important. And I want more than anything for you to be able to have that impact that you crave in your life. I want you to have that fulfilled life. So when you get scared, like you will, because you're human, right? Because you've got the same biology that I do, that primitive brain and the more evolved brain. The primitive brain is always going to be with you. And that primitive brain is going to make it feel like you got a 2-year-old running around in your head sometimes. So 2 ways to switch it out. 2 ways to take back control of your primitive brain. The first is to parent your inner toddler. To tell yourself, don't worry, there is no major danger here. I have got you. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to keep you safe. I've got you. Parent that inner child. Wrap your arms around that inner child. Practice great self-care if you're in a period of your life where you're really stretching and growing. And then your inner child will be able to not feel so scared, not feel the need to procrastinate and resist and justify and throw these little temper tantrums. So that's the way number 1. The second way is to grab your pen and paper and write at the top, here's what's on my mind, and take 5 minutes and just write it all out. And once you've written it all out, it's out of here and onto paper. Now you can look at it and you can decide using your prefrontal cortex, is this valid? Is this something that I need to be worried about? Or is it my inner 2-year-old feeling scared? So that's it for today. A little bit longer of a video than I normally do. And I am looking forward to talking to you next week. If you haven't already, grab my free download, The Ultimate Guide to Becoming a Coach. I think over the next couple of weeks, what you're going to see more of is you're going to see me doing more videos on mindset. Like I said, I can teach you all the strategies in the world, but the real importance is not what you know, the strategies, the step-by-step. What's really important is how you manage your mindset so you can get over those fears and move forward anyway, so that you can have that massive impact you want to have on this world. Okay, have a great week, you guys. Bye.